Hi friends, back with another video. In this video, we are going to learn about the construction of CWC unit hydrograph. So CWC unit hydrograph is developed by Central Water Commission of India after detailed study of a different watershed across the India. So they went to this watershed area and carried out the gauge flow data of the streams. And after detailed study of this gauge flow data, and from that gauge flow data, they associated this gauge flow data with the watershed geomorphic characters like this flow length of the stream and the channel slope, and along with the drainage area. So they find this peak flow in relation to this morphometric character of this watershed, and the results are subdivided for the different zones of the India. So suppose here I'm taking the case of a west coast subzone 5A and 5B. So west coast subzone is mostly dominated by this Western Ghats zone, where there is a huge annual mean precipitation. There is a huge annual mean precipitation, and there is a steep slope of this watershed due to this Western Ghats. And here is the general construction of the unit hydrographs. Here you can see this unit hydrograph and unit hydrograph ordinates, and what are its different ordinates of the unit hydrograph. So here you can see in this figure. So I will explain that later. And these are this unit hydrograph ordinate, and these are this empirical relation are they are developed after detailed study of this watershed for different zones. So this equation is suitable only for the west coast subzone 5A and 5B. So we can't use this equation for other zone. So it is only a synthetic regional synthetic unit hydrograph. It is only suitable for the these rivers or a small watersheds in the Western Ghats. So you can't use this for other zones. For other zones, this CWC the CWC empirical relation is available, so we can use that. And here in this equation, the L is the longest flow path in kilometer, and S is the equivalent channel slope meter per kilometer, and A is the drainage area in square kilometers. A is the drainage area to find the peak flow. So we can extract this geomorphic character from the GIS tool. Here I am using this hydrological modeling tool HEC HMS, so which is open source software. So we can get that from USAC website. So I will use that HEC HMS to extract this parameter, that is the L, S and A. So let's do that in the HEC HMS. First, here I will extract this geomorphic character from this HMS tool. So I will do that quickly here. So if you want to some more brief explanation of regarding this HMS, you can watch my previous video on specifically which is made for the the tutorial on HMS. So here I will quickly do this task. This in So here you can see, so I have quickly created this sub catchment. So if you want in detail explanation, so you can watch my previous video on HackHMS tutorial. So here now I will move to this parameters and find I will find these morphometric characters. Here you can see I have this longest flow path, this longest flow path channel, the slope. So what I require for my for in the CWC hydrograph is one is the longest flow path length, the longest flow path slope. Here I have tabulated these basin parameters of this watershed and divided into different sub watershed. Here you can see this drainage area, the longest flow path, the channel slope, which is nothing but equivalent channel slope from the HMS basin character, and copied that from HMS and pasted it here. So now I will find these unit hydrograph ordinates, which is highlighted here. So using this empirical relation. So before that, I just want to briefly explain the parameters which are there in this unit hydrograph ordinates. So here unit hydrograph is a discharge in y-axis and the time interval in the x-axis. So here if you first check out this TR, so TR is the unit rainfall during interval, so it is adopted in a specific study. Here we consider, for this case I will consider 1 hour interval, time interval. And the tm is the time from the start of the rise of the peak, start of the rise to the peak of the hydrograph. So start of the rise is the here from the zero it is starting, and at the up to this peak, that is where qp is there. So till this the time interval between from this 0 to peak will occur. So where the time where the peak occurs is the tm, and qp is the peak discharge of this unit hydrograph, qp. And Tp is the time from the center of the rainfall axis to the peak of the unit hydrograph, which is Tp. And W50 is the width of the unit hydrograph measured at 50% of the peak discharge ordinates. So for this 50% of the peak discharge, so we have to mark the ordinates on the either side. So we have to equally mark this ordinate on either side, and same for the 75% of the peak we should mark this ordinate time ordinate on either side on the graph sheet. So we will do this manually once we find out these parameters. And WR50 is the width of the rising limb measured 50% of the rising limb. So for the rising limb, so what is this we need to find this time ordinate of WR50 for 50% of the peak. So here we will mark, and similarly for 75% of the peak here we'll mark, and we will connect these points. So from 0 we will connect to this WR50 and WR75, and we will use this PQP point and draw a smooth curve. And to find this TB, that is the total time base of the unit hydrograph, so we can use this base width. This is nothing but total time width of the unit hydrograph. So we have this equation, this empirical equation, and A is the drainage area, which I already discussed, catchment area, and QP, so discharge per square kilometer. We have you can get this by the peak discharge divided by drainage area. We will get discharge per square kilometer area. So now find this parameters here. So first we will find the QP. So I just drag this and keep it here, so it will be much easier to formulate its equation. So here first I will find this QP. I will first find this QP, TP, W50, W75, WR50, WR50, WR75, and what else? TB, TM, QP, TB, TM, and QP. So these are these parameters. These are the unit hydrograph parameters we need to find. So first we will find this QP. So we have this direct empirical relation 0.9178 into this length, the longest flow path length, divided by this slope, which is the equivalent channel slope here, to the power minus 4313. So this one is the QP here. Just drag it down. Similarly for the TP, it is 1.567 into QP to the power minus 108 1.014. W50, this is the width of the unit hydrograph ordinate for 50% of the peak. So W50 1.9251 into QP into QP to the power minus 1.0896, and W75 we have 1.0189 into QP to the power W75, it is QP to the power 1.0443. And now comes the WR50, that is the ordinate of 50% of the rising limb, 50% of the peak of the rising limb. So which is WR50. We will mark all these parameters in the graph and construct a unit hydrograph, which is nothing but a regional synthetic unit hydrograph. Yes, for WR50. So WR50, I have this formula 9.1788 QP here to the power minus 1072, and for the WR75 is 0.3469 into QP given to the power 75 minus 1.0538. Now next is the TB time base is 7.38. So now into TP to the power TP to the power 0.7343. Okay, so Tm is the Tp plus Tr by 2. So for Tr, I have already mentioned that we will consider time interval as 1 hour interval. So Tr is 1, Tp is here. The Tp is in terms of hours. See, all these ordinates of the time are in hours. This Tp, W50, W75, WR 75, TBT, Tm. The QP is in Qmax. The Tm all are in hours. So now find the Tm. So Tm is Tp plus Tr by 2. Tr is 1 hour interval, I assume, and by 2. Tr is equals to 1 hour interval. And next comes the QP. That is the capital QP. That is the peak discharge. So there is small QP into drainage area. So small QP, this small QP is here into this drainage area. So this one is the QP. So just scroll it down. So here we found the ordinates of the unit hydrograph. So these are the we found the ordinates of the unit hydrograph. So now we will mark these points on these graph sheets. So I will manually draw these points on the graph sheet, and I will show it to you how can we, and explain the graph sheet how I drawn these different ordinates of this unit hydrograph. So we will mark all these points on this kind of a sheet. So I will take a graph sheet and I will mark all these parameters. For this initial one, I will show you demo case of this subwatershed 1. I will show you this demo case. I will show you this demo case for this subwatershed 1. I will construct a unit hydrograph for subwatershed 1. On the graph, I have marked these unit hydrograph ordinates, the various unit hydrograph ordinates which are calculated here. So I am showing you the demo case for subwatershed 1, how I marked on the manually on the graph sheet. So initially on the graph sheet I have plotted the time in hours in the x-axis and discharge Qmax in y-axis. So I have marked for this first subwatershed. So initially I marked this point Tm and corresponding QP, that is the peak discharge. So the Tm is 2.3 hours. So 2.3 hours comes somewhere here. So it is the time from the rise of the rise of the hydrograph till the peak of the hydrograph, that is the TM. So this one is the width of the TM, it is 2.3 hours, and at this TM the peak belongs to this TM. So I just marked initially, I marked this QP point, QP, and I also marked the location of the TB, that is the time base of this hydrograph, so which is the 11.37. So 11.37 also marked here, this point is TB. And next I I have marked the location of the 50% and 75% of the peak of the peak discharge. So 75% of this peak discharge is 51 meter cube per second, nearly 51 meter cube per second, and 50% of this peak discharge is nearly 34 with some decimals meter cube per second. So I just marked this one on this graph sheet, and later I went to this one, that is WR50 and WR75. So WR50 is the width of the 50% of the peak discharge in the rising limb. So I have marked this WR50 and WR75. It is the width of the rising limb for 75% of the peak. So initially I have marked this location of this 75% of the discharge, and this one is the 50% of the discharge, and I mark the width of the 75% and 50% of the rising limb. So this part is actually rising limb. So here you can see I have marked this 75%, here I have marked the 50% width of this rising limb, this line, this width I have marked. You can see this dotted circle here, and same for the 75 meter I have marked. You can see it comes here. If I try to highlight it to you, this point is somewhere here. Yes, this point comes somewhere here. So I mark this one. All right, so I mark this location, and later I considered the width of the 50% and 75%. So width of this rising limb is, suppose for the WR50 is 0.67. So here I mark the 0.67 meter from this TM ordinate, time ordinate. This is 2.3. From 2.3 I marked 0.67 meter on the right, on this rising limb, that is on the left hand side. And same for the WR75 and WR50, I have marked these points on this graph sheet. I got these 2 points, and next I mark the width of the unit hydrograph coordinate for 50% of the peak, width of the peak, and 75% of the width of the peak. So here you can see I have marked this the width W50 and W75. So W50 width is how much? It is W50 is 2.22 hours. So here you can see from this WR50, I highlighted this point W50 for 2.22 meters. From here 2.22 2.22 hours. And similarly for W75, from the WR75 point I marked this W75 width, it is 1.17. so here you can see 1.17. all right, so this is actually the graph comes, and after that I draw smoothly drawn the curve by connecting all these 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 points, and from that 7 points I smoothly drawn a curvy linear graph like this. And in that, for every hour I noted down the approximate peak discharge. Since I am drawing it manually on the graph, I won't get the exact value. So because I am drawing this curve manually, I get some approximate value. Suppose for the 1 hour I am getting the peak discharge of it is nearly 15 qmax. Similarly for 2 hours it is nearly 62 to 65. So same I marked for every hours till the 11.37. So that is the time base of the hydrograph. So here I have marked, and from that I have plotted this graph with time in x-axis and discharge q in y-axis. So this one is the CWC unit hydrograph which I have created now. Now I want to create the dimensionless hydrograph. So dimensionless hydrograph is nothing but the variation of the time ordinate with respect to TP, that is the time to peak, that is measured from center of the rainfall axis till the peak till the time of the peak. So here you can see it here, this TP, it is from the center of the rainfall axis till the peak of the ordinate. So this is TP, and I will find the ratio of the T by TP for every time interval, and similarly for the also I will find the ratio of Q by QP. The QP is the peak discharge. So peak discharge here is 69. So I will find the peak discharge for every hour. So for 0 hours, 1 hours, 2 hours. So what will be the Q by QP ratio? So let's do that. So here the T and here I will TP and QP. So TP, we know this value, TP is 1.802. Sorry, I need to change it to numbers. Yes, and QP is 69.02. So now I will find this parameter T by TP and Q by QP. So here T by TP, T we know this one, T by TP. Scroll it down, and Q by QP. Q, here we have the Q divided by QP. Scroll it down. Alright, so we found this value of T by TP and Q by QP. So dimensionless graph unit hydrograph is nothing but ratio between the T by TP to the Q by QP. So we can plot the graph now. So just select these last two columns, insert graph. So here is the dimensionless unit hydrograph. So both look similar. If you look into this graph and this graph, both are similar, but if you want to relate this from the graph with the watershed, when you have, so here is the dimensionless unit hydrograph, and this one is the CWC unit hydrograph, and this dimensionless unit hydrograph is derived from this CWC unit hydrograph. So here the major advantage of the dimensionless unit hydrograph is that if you want to relate this relationship between large number of watersheds, so you can't relate this with a single unit hydrograph, because this large catchment having the higher peak, and the smaller catchment is having lower peak. So some graphs come here, a peak comes here, some graph peak comes here, and even the time base also varies. But however, if you plot that all these catchments in the dimensionless approach, so the peak could be same for every graph. But however, the p could be remain same because we are taking the ratio q by qp. But however, the time of the peak would vary. So this one is the major advantage. If you want to know how is the behavior of different subwatershed in a whole basin, so the major advantage of the dimensionless unitary graph is that you can relate the different watershed in a large basin with this dimensionless unitary graph. So I hope you understand this dimensionless unitary graph and how to construct this unitary graph.